Alright, I'm on mode 3. I'm linked up, 133.1 kilometers on the clock. I'm just going to run a little errand here. There's a little bit of a mist coming down, so I won't stay out very long in this kind of weather, but I'm going to go check out the hood. See if everything's okay. Now, obviously, the good part of this is it doesn't require any energy to get out. You know, that's a good thing about the scooter, but it's really a short-term thing. He's ordering his new furniture. It's really a short-term thing because you can't go far on this thing. I tried to go far yesterday and man, my body was hurting. You end up hurting yourself on this. Oh, I don't see our criminal anywhere in sight. You may have gotten the message, or maybe not. If he comes back, I'll know. This is usually around the time that he comes by and causes us shit. Oh, we're doing... Hey guys.
You have the GoPro?
Yeah, it's a GoPro.
Nice.
Well, you know, for safety and everything, and you never know what happens if a car cuts me. So, I got this at Costco.
Oh, Costco.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got this one at Costco too.
Costco is always cheaper.
Yeah, but you know, Costco's the thing is like you walk in and they either have it or they don't have it,
Yeah.
right? And if you don't get it now, it'll never come back. I mean, that's how
Exactly.
Costco works. Same thing with this guy. I got this guy at Costco.
Costco too?
Yeah, it's more than likely that in a few weeks from now, or a few
It
months from
won't be
now,
there.
this won't be there. You know, they'll be selling something else.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind because I'm sending this thing back. It's got problems.
Their
You got
marketing
problems?
strategies are
This one? Yeah.
genius.
Is that
Their marketing strategies are genius.
for
They're not
Costco?
a market, yeah.
Yeah. Well, also something that's really interesting and what I'm taking advantage of is the fact that there's a 90-day return policy. So I get to try this for a while, and right now I've already
60,
decided.
50 days and you can return it and they have no problem with that.
Yeah, so
Because
it's
they
part.
make so much
They
money.
never
Yeah, it's part of their membership privileges, right?
Yeah.
So basically, so they give you a 90 days, no questions asked return policy on certain things, like electronics, for example.
Yeah,
Even this, I could have
yeah.
returned in 90 days. This one I kept because I'm super satisfied.
Yeah.
You know, I love this camera.
Everybody that get the Pro, everybody tells me it's amazing.
Yeah, it's really good camera. So that one I'm super satisfied. This, not quite as satisfied. I got
Yeah.
issues. So there are
Just return it.
issues with this, issues with that. What else? Issues with the charging port that keeps popping off.
Or the charging port.
This keeps popping
Oh,
off, this little
keeps
rubber
going
thing,
out.
so it doesn't protect it against the water.
Oh.
You know, little things like that, for example. So I got little issues and I'm going like, you know, I'll send it back. I can either get another one
Or just get a
no,
refund.
I'm thinking I'm just going to get the full refund. I'm going to wait till springtime to then
And then just buy
when they
a new
have
one.
something else.
Exactly.
Sometimes they buy other brands. This is a GEN3,
Yeah.
but there's also this other brand called 9bot, which they actually had in the springtime last year, which I should have bought. But you know, again, I missed out on it.
Yeah, so now just wait on the next
Well, I'm
one.
hoping next year they go back and get some 9bots and I'll try those ones out.
Costco has everything.
It's pretty amazing. See you around, guys. All right, let's do our little run. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try, there's a convenience store down that way, but I am going to try to go to the Rabba market. That's what I'm interested in. I'm going to try to avoid sidewalks because I really hate sidewalks. That being said, I'm going to use the sidewalk right here because this one's actually kind of smooth. Can't wait to use that right there. Look at that, it's nice and paved. Oh, this is going to be so beautiful like that. Oh! Yes, it's beautiful. All right. VP659. Not the same guy. No, see, the other one was a turbo, and this is the older model. They got the newer one. I don't think this guy has what I'm looking for. Or maybe concerned leaving the scooter out here where I can't lock it. I don't think they got what I'm looking for in there. Off to the Rabba. Crown. Mastermind Toys. Still hoping to survive all the time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ride down the sidewalk here. There's a little bit of a weird pain right here in the stomach, right in the side. Down here with Mercedes, and you're living in a condo tire like this. Spend less money on your car, more money on your house. Up the speed here. I don't have to worry about things like speed bumps. I was gonna come off the sidewalk. Sorry. Oh, I can go right there. We'll take battery pack out, since I'm leaving that in there, and I'm going to lock it with the app. Okay, let's do a little errand here. Find out if we can find what we're looking for. Good 1 mil on the max. Alright, so I just did a little errand here. And now I'm going to go back and I'm going to use the backside. But Rabba seems to have a lot of the stuff I was looking for. Namely, ice cream! Got myself a little thing of ice cream for a little bit cheaper. Yeah, this is one of those scam calls. So, fortunately for me, I got this nice little app here and I can flag these guys as scammers. These are guys have been calling me lately, these 647 numbers. They are basically, how can I explain this? I'm looking for a call recorder, I'm distracted here. They are trying to sell scams, you know, for the duct cleaning scams, you know. They do that all the time. You know, it's like, okay, we're doing some scams. They've been, you know, nailed so many times doing, you know, the CRA scam where they pretend to be the revenue agency or a federal agency or what was it? My wife got caught by that one. Was a oh yeah, the wife got caught by one. Oh, actually she almost fell for it. She did not, but she almost fell for it. It was an Interpol thing, and it was in Mandarin. They called her and they were speaking in Mandarin on the other side, and they told her passport had been seized and because she was wanted on an international warrant and blah blah blah. So she had to call a phone number, which was basically Interpol in Hong Kong or Beijing or something. Beijing actually it was the Interpol number for Beijing. So I said, okay, so what's the number? I told her, give me the number. Just gave me the number. I go to the Interpol website, I look it up, and nope. You know, she's absolutely not on the most wanted list, and the number that they gave us was not a number for Interpol at all. They gave us a bad number, so I said, no, it's a scam. I said, don't worry about it. And I showed her the list of the most wanted people on Interpol, and you know, there's a page that you can look and you can see the people's descriptions, their age, picture, and so on. I said, are you on there? She says, no. So I said, you're not wanted. So I said, you're not one of the wanted people by Interpol, so don't worry about it. No, I had to tell her that. Just don't worry about it. You're not wanted. It's a scam. So this is, there seems to be two origins of phone scams these days. There's the Indians, you know, obviously from India. We all know about that. These are all kinds of scams. They scam you on the on computer software. They try to do Bitcoin piracy things. You name it. They just scam all over. And then there are the standing in front of a doorway is probably not a good idea. Oh, bottomed out. Okay. So yeah, there's the ones from India that they try to lock your, you know, they put some crappy websites, and then they say, well, you know, like we lock your, we put a virus, and you know, so they put computer viruses, and then you have to call them, and then, you know, they do this tech support thing on your computer. In fact, they're installing bad software to manipulate and so on, and gift card scams and all that. Those are the Indians. They also do the CRA scam, and you can tell it's just badly done because it's a recorded voice. It's not even recorded. It's a computer voice. It's a computer generated voice because they don't want their Indian accents to come out because everybody recognizes them. And if you recognize the Indian accent, then what you're going to do is you're just going to say, oh, this is a scam, right? And they don't want to be nailed for this scam. They don't want it to come out as a scam because people know how to recognize the scams. And then there are the Chinese. The Chinese are also for the scamming. And then there are the Russians. So the Russians do a lot of the hacking into, and then they do crypto locking. So they crypto lock all your files, and then they ask for cryptocurrency as payment. All right. So that comes a lot out of Russia, and these days it's coming out of China too. China seems to be performing some phone scans, but to a lesser extent than the Indians. So if you get a phone scam, more than likely it is from India. The scams on their phone are actually mostly Indians. Let's take the long road. Whoa! See, this is why I prefer my bike. I gotta tell you, this thing about going on the scooter, it's fun because you're kind of standing up like this and you're seeing everywhere. But standing up is hard on the legs after a while. I mean, I just like the fact that there's power delivery, but you know what? Why not I just put an electric motor on my existing bike? I'm gonna get like similar or even better results. The other thing too is these little 10-inch wheels, they can't handle bumps and cracks properly. They don't roll through these cracks. So that's a big problem with these scooters. They just don't handle the cracks well, so sidewalks are a pain in the butt. My mountain bike has 26-inch wheels and fat tires. So, well, fat. I mean, relatively 2.75 inches wide. There's, you know, relatively wide. It's not a fat bike by any means, but it's pretty fat for a mountain bike. And yeah, so I think it's better. It's more comfortable. It's not as bouncy. Plus, I got full suspension. I got a front and a rear suspension on that mountain bike. I spent about $1,500 acquiring it. Spent another $800 fixing it. So I'd rather spend another $600 getting an electric motor for it, a Buffon, for example. So get an electric motor kit to put on this thing would be awesome. It would work, it could be done. Not only could it be done, but it would also be much better performance. I mean, if you put like this is a 450 milliamp hour, or is it amp? No, milliamp hours. Right? This is a 450 milliamp battery in this little thing, because it doesn't need to be much more than that. But the Buffon kit, you know, like the one I think it was like $600, had a 12 amp hour. You know, 12 amp hours on a bicycle like mine. That's like 60 to 90 kilometers. This thing, I tried it yesterday on mode 2, which is 20 kilometers an hour limit, and I got 28 kilometers. 28. So you can barely do 30 kilometers on mode 2, and they say it's rated for 48. Well, on mode 3, I would say maybe low 20s, or maybe even less than 20. And on mode 1, which is 10 kilometer an hour limit, I would say perhaps in the high 30s, but not 48. So I don't know, but 10 kilometers an hour is pretty slow on this. I mean, I can cycle. I maintain a rhythm of at cycling way above that, like maybe 16 or 17. And when I'm with the wife, even the wife, she goes at around 11 or 12 kilometers an hour. So 10 kilometers an hour in this thing is super slow. Plus, this thing has a walking mode. So it has a little green guy that shows up. All right, so I'm off to do a milk run. Actually, it's not really milk. Just a few other things over at my local convenience store. So I did exactly the same milk run. I believe it was Wednesday. This time I'm going to use this backpack here that I got from my company. You have a water bottle holder, has a big open thing. It's like basically it's a gym bag kind of thing. Although there isn't a strap going across, so I'm going to have to be careful. And I'm going to put that on my back. I'm also going to use my gloves, and I'm also going to bring this lock. I don't often put this lock on the back of my bike, but this time I'll use it because you never know. I'm actually going to put this in the backpack while I ride it. So it's a little easier this way. That goes into the backpack. We'll put a little bit of weight at the bottom of the backpack itself. Okay. And that should do it. I think that'll hold it in. Right there. Obviously, this being a regular mountain bike, I will not need to have to turn it on or power or link up an app or anything like that. It's going to be a fairly easy ride too. So the only thing I need to do is just close the garage door when I exit. But I was doing that with the other one as well. On go the gloves. Got the backpack to carry the food, snacks or whatever. And I got my trusty mountain bike. This is locked up, that's good. There's another spot for the GoPro, but I'm not using that today. Alright, so what we're trying to prove here is simply this, that this is actually better than the scooter. Scooter might be powered, right? So that is an advantage. But the bicycle has its own advantages. For one thing, unlike a scooter, I don't have a range limit on this thing. Alright? So I can just drive my bike as far as I want, as long as I want. I just need to check something else here. Yeah, so I can just ride my bike as far as I want, as long as I want. And, you know, as long as I'm not getting too tired or exhausted, it really just depends on me. And, you know, you can always stop and fuel, you know, eat to fuel yourself up, and even you know, sleep, and fuel yourself up and eat, and that's it. The other advantage is that, you see, with the scooter, the problem is it's electric, right? But it's electric only and it has no pedals. So as you're riding the scooter, you will get a little bit of range anxiety. Here's another advantage of the bike. I hate driving the scooter on a sidewalk, but with the bike, yeah, it is not a problem. Absolutely not a problem. See? That's an idiot thing to do. Making a right-hand turn from the left lane, from the left turn lane. Yeah. So, it's a very easy thing to do with the bicycle. You just ride on the sidewalk, the bumps have no effect. Scooter, on the other hand, was still $800 expensive just to do these little errands and stuff like that. They're also not very comfortable. See, with a bike like this, I'm actually sitting, my legs are pointing forward as the bicycle is forward. And that makes it much more comfortable, and you can ride with it for a long time. Plus, you got a seat. So see, like right now, I can actually sit down on it. When you're standing up on a scooter and you're taking all those bumps on the road, it gets to be very uncomfortable in your legs and even your spine. At a certain point, you start feeling it. There you go. See? Look at that. You start feeling it in your spine. It's really annoying. Well, look how fast that kid is going, and that's actually something else. This bicycle is actually faster than the scooter. I tried it last night. I raced the scooter against this bike, and my wife maxed it out at 30 kilometers an hour, and she's only 120 something pounds. So she's much lighter than I am, and she could not out accelerate me. She could not outrun me. I was going faster on this bike than she did. Yes, granted, I got some exercise. Granted, I wouldn't be able to do that over a period of, say, 20 kilometers, but the fact still is that this is a faster means of transportation overall. It's longer range and so on. The only disadvantage this has is portability, or the lack thereof. But to solve that, you can kind of go with a folding bicycle. You know, you can buy a folding bike and stuff like that. The problem is that can be solved. It's not a problem. See, with these big ass wheels that I have here, these are 26-inch wheels. These are 2.75-inch mountain bike tires right there in front. They're big, studded and everything, so I can go off-road with this thing. I can go in places that the scooter just can't. Now, I know some people will say, yeah, but you can get scooters with big fat tires and they're comfortable and all that. True. But it's gonna be super expensive. Super expensive. Now this bike right here is super expensive in itself when it's brand new. But it is a 10-year-old bike. Oh yeah, that's great, even for a 10-year-old bike. Oh, here's something. I'm going to take a shortcut through there. And when I did it with the scooter yesterday, I had to get off the scooter. But this one, actually, see that? I can just jump the curb. Because I got big wheels. Scooters can't do that. I can. I'm going to go through here, just as I did yesterday with the scooter. Now, the one thing that I could do with this bicycle, this mountain bike, is I could try to electrify it. There are kits you can buy which will add an electric motor to this. Right? So you can get a full-blown electric bike for a few $1,000s. But for a few $100s, I can get a kit which puts a motor and a battery here and a little controller screen right there. And thumb throttle on this side and sensors on the brakes. When it hits the brakes, it shuts off. Things like that. And that particular kit I'm looking at has a, whoa, very windy today, has a 750 watt electric motor compared to the 350 that was on the scooter. Right? So, given the bike weighs more than the scooter, even when the battery is taken into account, it will still outperform. The kit that I'm looking at 750 watts can take a regular bicycle like this and go up to 40 kilometers an hour. And that's 10 more than the scooter. Let's do the same thing as the scooter. Let's go this way. And on top of that, it is rated for a range of 60 to 90 kilometers. 60 to 90. Compare that to the 28 that I got with the scooter the other day. I'm going that way.
Thank you.
No problem. Compared that to the 28 that I got the other day, Mode 2, which was a 20 kilometer an hour limit. So that's on the battery alone, just on the throttle and just going with the throttle. But the moment you start doing the same thing as a pedal assist, where you pedal a lot of the times and then you just kick in the motor a little bit more, you extend that range a little even more. And if you do run out of battery, you can still pedal around. You can still use this and start pedaling around. Whereas the scooter, you're just gonna have to push it. You're gonna have to put your foot on it on one side and then push with the other side. Very annoying. So it kind of defeats the purpose if you get my point. This, on the other hand, much more flexible. All right, let's do the jump again. See that? All right. No bike rack here, but this should do. Why don't I go and run my errands on the inside there? So it is an advantage, and I think I actually made the trip today quicker than I did with the scooter. Because with the scooter I was avoiding the sidewalks and all that, but it's not going to be a problem for this guy. That's it, you're done. But with this, you got to tie it down. But I'm just going into the store. There's no other place I can tie it up.
So in the meantime, if someone handicapped person came from that side, then what we should do? And this is also like our place. We have to go there and come back.
It's out of the way. Well, where else am I going to tie it?
You can tie on the pole there.
Yes, I could do that. All right, no problem. All right, let's do that. Let's tie it up onto the pole over there. I guess they don't like it being in front of the store. That's understandable. It is their property after all. Maybe they should have a bike rack here. I mean, you got a Rabba right there. not a very cycle-friendly community, is it? It's actually going to be easier. Okay, this bag is really annoying because it doesn't strap down. This is actually a much easier thing to do with this bike than it is with the scooter. Because what I'm about to do, the way I'm going to lock it, you can't do that with the scooter. You see? That it's a high traffic area, so I don't think anybody's going to mess around with this bike. If it does happen, I'll be there to catch it. Alright, this bag is annoying. I need a better bag. Piece of crap. Alright, I'm not going to record on the inside. We'll put the video on hold while I shop. So, and if they don't have something to accommodate me, then I'll just have to go somewhere else. That's the way I think. I'm not going to start barking in their faces going like, well, you know, you should have a bike rack here. But they should have a bike rack, but it's not to me to decide. It's up to them, whether or not they want to keep their customers. Okay, well, see, no kickstand on this. I forgot about that. And there you go. I don't have to power up anything. I just ride my bike. Now, what I'm going to do next is something that I would dare not do on the electric scooter. It's this, riding on a sidewalk. I'm going to take off my mask. There you go. Now you guys can hear me properly. So yes, I'm going to be riding on the sidewalk with my bicycle. What the hell? I can't close my zipper here for some reason. There you go, closed. Okay, so I'm riding on the sidewalk like this. With a scooter, it would go bump, 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 bump. But with the mountain bike, I'm barely feeling the bumps at all. These big fat tires are absorbing just about everything. Plus the full suspension in the front, full suspension in the back. Real suspension, not that gimmicky thing they put on scooters. And right here, I'm actually going to turn left. So, much like I did with the scooter, I'm going to cut through the sidewalk to the plaza here. There we go. I'm on my way to doing that. I'll take the main loop. Also, the scooter is not very stable at high speeds because you got very skinny narrow, handlebars, and plus you got that long stem. So anybody who knows anything about materials will tell you that the longer a rod is, pole, stem, the more flexible it is. And this kind of flexibility is, well, that's not a good thing. So when it flexes, you can't be very stable. This, on the other hand, has a very short, the stem from here to the tires, very short. A lot more stable, plus the handlebars are wider. One of the problems on the scooter is the handlebars are so narrow that you can't really let it go. It's not stable. This, I can drive with one hand. Yeah, no problem. Not an issue. The downside, of course, is it'll be a lot closer to go through these cars here. So navigating through the cars, tight areas might be a little bit more difficult with bike with wider handlebars. What the heck is this? Somebody just dumped their load or something. It's weird. I don't know. There are weird people in this neighborhood. So I come over here, I get my errands done. The market not too far away. Riding the bike like this. Electric car, still quiet like that. And if there is problems, if I wanted to get more power, more speed, more range, and I just want to stop pedaling for a while and just use like a thumb throttle, then like I said, I'll put an electric kit on it. Full suspension. Look at that. I love this. It's absorbing everything. This guy threw a red light right here. Stupid lady. That's how you get crashes on corners. Somebody runs a red light. Always watch for door prizes. All right. So we'll do one little tour around the neighborhood. Where they're having the gardening. They haven't installed the numbers here yet. Looks like they stopped at number 4. They did it the 4th, they didn't do the other ones. So, cut through the property here. Where this is my property, I'm allowed to do this. Go take a look at the north side. See how that's going. Car coming out. Yeah, beep beep. Little backing up warning. It's always a good thing to do. Alright, let's tour this, see what's going on. So if you're wondering where the scooter is, I returned it. I figured, you know, I had a 90-day window to return it, but I decided to exercise that yesterday. Yesterday I said to myself, that's enough. We're done, it's going back. So I returned it. So it was it was much shorter. I mean, it was only a week. I only had it for a week, but that short week told me that this scooter was just not something that I wanted to have. It would have been okay if I paid $200 or $300 for it, but I paid $800 for what is essentially a toy. It's not a good long distance commuter. It's not a comfortable ride. It's you know, I don't think it's worth it. I mean, you can compare the alternatives. And like I said, if folding this and putting it in the trunk of your car is a problem, go with you go with a foldable electric bike. Just a regular folding electric bike would do the job. Regular folding electric bike, and you'll get much more longer distance transportation. You'll get a lot more comfort. Everything's better that way. And the trend these days, we're between 2,000 and 5,000, I believe. So that's your price range. Is to get folding electric bikes with fat tires. So they have these mini fat tires. Mini tires being that they're only 20 inches instead of the 26. So you get tiny tires, you get small tires, but 20 inches is still twice as much as the scooters, which are 10 inch. What's that guy doing? Let's come back on the reverse side and see what he's doing. I don't trust guys like that. He's looking at the board thinking he's getting free lumber or something. And it's a feet. Let's see. I'm a nice person, and I can't be. But cross me and I'll be a nasty son of a bitch. That's the duality of my personality. This guy I couldn't do that with the scooter. No way the scooter would allow me to do something like that. So I was saying, I'm usually a nice guy with people, but cross me and I'll turn into a real goddamn son of a bitch and I'll, yeah. Okay? And my wife goes like, oh, you're gonna be afraid you're gonna be shot. I'm going, lady, I was in the army. I had bullets coming at me. Trust me. Punk kids around here don't scare me whatsoever. You know, you're talking to a guy who was trained in the military, for Christ's sake. You think these little kids around here being hostile and threatening are going to threaten me? I know the laws. I know how to defend myself. Don't worry about it. All right, I'm done for today.